Welcome back to Confidence Picks for college football in Week 9. Going a brief overview of last week, we had an actual good week for the Big 12. Went 6-2. I mean, very well could have been 4-4. Iowa State and BYU just pulled off a late second victory over both their opponents. We're doing pretty well. The three of the Power 4 conferences. So let's see if we can improve on this going into Week 9. We'll start it with the Big 12. I want to put the spreads next to each of these games. Our most confident pick is Kansas State over Kansas. I don't think Kansas State's not been dominating opponents, but Kansas is just so bad this year. I don't see them winning in this rivalry game. I think Kansas State wins and covers in the 10-point spread. Number 6, Colorado over Cincinnati. Colorado, to my own chagrin, what I don't want to admit, has actually been doing a lot better than they were last year. And Cincinnati, though, has actually been doing much better this year, a lot better than people expected as well. I do think Colorado will win this. They have a home game against Cincinnati. I think they cover the 5 points and get the win. Number 5, Utah over Houston. Houston has not been playing the best, not a good team so far this year, but Utah has been playing terribly the last few weeks. I still think the Utes win this. They cover the 3.5 against the Cougars. Number 4, Texas Tech over TCU. This is actually a touchdown spread underdog for Texas Tech. I'm still going to take them over the Horned Frogs. I just think Texas Tech, even though they played an easier schedule, I think they have a better team than TCU at this moment. Number 3, West Virginia over Arizona. Another upset pick for me. I think West Virginia and both these teams are on the brink of, losing the rest of their season and kind of, having a wasted season. I think West Virginia is going to take advantage of this, even on the road, and cover the 3.5-point underdog spread against Arizona. Number 2, BYU actually is a underdog against UCF this week. UCF played very tough against Iowa State last week. Basically should have beat them, but they lost by 1 in the end. Iowa State or BYU they had a close game themselves against Oklahoma State. Just pulled it out. I think they still get it done this week. They continue their winning streak to get to 8-0 on the season. And finally, my least confident pick is Baylor over Oklahoma State. I just both these teams are just a mystery to me right now. Oklahoma State, they looked decent at the beginning of the year, then just absolute trash lately. Baylor had a 3-touchdown victory last week, so I think we're going to pick them to beat the Pokes. Now to move on to the Big Ten right now, there's 8 games. My most confident pick is Ohio State over Nebraska. Do I think they'll cover the 25.5? That's up for debate. Do I think they win this? No question. Ohio State's light years ahead of Nebraska, even with them doing much better this season. Number 7, Iowa over Northwestern. I think this will be a low-scoring game, but Iowa is just a better team than Northwestern. I don't know what else to say. Northwestern's been playing teams tough all year, but they just haven't done enough to win most of these games. Number 6, Oregon against Illinois. I think this is going to shock a lot of people, but I think Illinois probably will cover the 21.5, but I think there's very, very little chance Illinois covers or wins the game outright, even on the road on the West Coast against Oregon. I think a lot of people are deceived by last week's performance over Michigan. Illinois is very much lower in the power ratings than Oregon and Ohio State, so I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon actually covers this one. Number 5, USC over Rutgers. USC's lost 4 of the last 5 games after starting 2-0. 2-0. Rutgers has not been playing well lately, though. I think USC will beat Rutgers going to the West Coast. Number 4, Indiana, Washington. I don't think Indiana has their quarterback this week. That's why they're only a 6.5-point favorite. They also host game day, though, so I think it'll be rocking over there in Bloomington. First time they ever hosted it. And I think they're going to still remain undefeated at 8-0 in this young season so far. Number 3, Michigan State over Michigan. I just can't keep picking Michigan to win these games. They're just not a good team. They have no quarterback play. Michigan State actually has a quarterback, even though they're not a better team overall. Quarterback makes all the difference. Michigan doesn't have any. Michigan State actually does. Number 2, Penn State over Wisconsin. This is basically a toss-up for me. Penn State going into a night game, a road environment. This is going to be a tough game, but I think they still cover it, win the game outright against Wisconsin. I would not be shocked if Wisconsin pulls the upset in this one, though. They've been playing really well as of late. And number 1, my least confident pick, Minnesota over Maryland. They both had upset wins over USC the last 2 weeks. Maryland most recently. I just think Minnesota has a more complete team than Maryland does. That's why I'm going to take them to win this. Moving on to the ACC now. I'm going to take most confident pick is Miami over Florida State. Florida State is one of the worst programs in the country right now at 1-6. No chance they even come close to beating Miami. I think Miami covers at least by a touchdown. Number 7, SMU over Duke. Duke beat Florida State last week. but SMU is a good team. It's their conference to lose. If they win out, they will go to the ACC championship game. Number 6, Louisville over Boston College. I think Louisville has been playing really tough teams as of late and has not gotten the benefit of the doubt. I think they have a superior athletic advantage to Boston College. I think they win this one outright. Number 5, Cal over Oregon State. Old Pac-12 rivals. Not much else to say. Cal is a better team. Oregon State doesn't have that good of a team, but Cal's just that much better. Number 4, Virginia over North Carolina. Virginia was in the lead in the ACC a couple weeks ago. Then they lost. Clemson got crushed. I don't think UNC is that good of a team. Virginia's going to beat them and cover as well. Number 3, Virginia Tech over Georgia Tech. A team that could very well be 5-1 right now. Virginia Tech. I think they're going to beat Georgia Tech. And whether you guys want to admit it or not, they have a legit outside chance of getting to the ACC championship game with only one loss in conference. Give or take, one of the top 3 teams, Miami, Clemson, or SMU, falters along the way. So watch out for VT going down the stretch here. Number 2, Pitt over Syracuse. This is an absolute mystery for me for both these teams. I'm just going to take the favorite, Pittsburgh, over Syracuse, plus they're playing at home. And number 1, Stanford. I'm going to take them over Wake Forest. I think Wake Forest, both teams are terrible. I just think Stanford, not only are they've been playing spoiler against the spread lately, but Wake Forest is traveling across the country. Teams are 3-12 or 4-12 this season, both the Big Ten and the ACC. When they do that, I'm going to take the home team in this one on the West Coast. Finally, going to the SEC, only have 6 games. Number 6, most confident is Texas or Vandy. Both teams are ranked, but I would be absolutely flabbergasted. I said this for like 4 weeks in a row in the SEC picks. I would be absolutely flabbergasted if Texas loses to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is not that good at a power rating. They've upset Alabama, but they played really weak opponents to move to 5-2. They're ranked, but I think Texas is going to beat them and put them right back out of the rankings, honestly. Number 5, Ole Miss over Oklahoma. Oklahoma has just been playing such a hard schedule, and it doesn't get any easier playing Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss beats the Sooners, so this one. Number 4, Alabama over Missouri. I mean, I picked Alabama to cover the spread each of the last 2 weeks, and obviously they have totally destroyed that. But I think Alabama will beat Missouri. I don't think they're going to lose this one. If they do, their season's basically over. Missouri obviously still has a chance to get to the SEC and CFP. I'm going to take Alabama in this one, though. They're 17-point favorite, 3 possessions. I think they win. Number 3, Arkansas over Mississippi State. Arkansas is a very underrated team. They are underperforming. Mississippi State's the worst team in the SEC. Arkansas is going to win this one. Number 2, Kentucky over Auburn. Kentucky, this is a toss-up. I'm just going to take Kentucky. They're the home team. They're the favorite. They're going to win over Auburn. Number 1, the big game of the week, LSU versus Texas A&M. I'm honestly going to take LSU to cover the 2.5-point underdog spread and win outright. A&M has been playing really good as of late, but their schedule is just so weak compared to most of the other top teams. I'm going to take the Tigers even on the road in this one to cover the spread and get the win outright. That's my video, guys. Join me next week for week 10 of the confidence picks. See how we do this week, and see you guys next week.